Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Toronto Raptor preview video. They play 3 games this upcoming week, kind of go through each game, give some predictions, give some previews, that type of thing. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. It is greatly appreciated. All likes and comments, they really help out the algorithm. 3 games. So started off home against the Washington Wizards. Now, this game, I don't know if there is an actual call on Bradley Beal. I believe he is a game time decision. My guess is that Bradley Beal does in fact play. For Washington, obviously their roster was morphed around this offseason. The addition of Spencer Dinwiddie, the removal of Russell Westbrook. But there's still some pretty big injuries on this Wizards team, like Rui Hachimura, you have Thomas Bryant. Those guys are not going to be playing in the opener. So given what Washington has right now, I mean, Kuzma, you got Dinwiddie, you got Bradley Beal. I know the Raptors are going to be without Chris Boucher, and I know they're going to be without Pascal Siakam for a little bit, but I think that the Raptors just have a little bit too much talent. And ultimately, I think that their defense is just way too good to lose this first game at home. First regular season game back in Canada in a very long time. So I think that they get the job done here pretty easily. I don't know what the starting lineup's going to look like. My guess, it gets interesting. I don't know if OG is going to be thrown down at the 4 if you throw in Goran in the starting lineup, but my guess for the opening lineup is going to be Freddie, Gary, OG, Scotty Barnes, and I really want him to start Precious Achiuwa, but I think it'll be Kem Birch. I think it's Kem Birch's job to lose. He got COVID. So I think he's going to get the opportunity. Either way, no matter who starts, I do think that they just have a little bit too much talent to lose to Washington in the opener, given the circumstances. But this is where things get a little interesting. They go at Boston, and then they go back home and play the Dallas Mavericks. And I think this is going to tell a lot about this Raptors team right away. I think right away you are going to know if this Raptors squad is going to be relevant. Now, I don't mean it necessarily from the fact, the final score, the final product, but they're without, Dallas isn't going to be without any key players. There is one injured guy, but I don't think he's missing the game. Boston, same thing with him. I think Al Horford's got COVID, so that's going to help out them a little bit. Jaylen Brown should be good to go by then. I think he plans on playing in their opener on Wednesday. Boston and Dallas are 2 very talented teams. Obviously, both of them made the playoffs last year. Even Washington, but Boston on the road in Boston, that's going to tell a lot because the Raptors, they're shorthanded right now. So for me, if the Raptors were to beat Boston, I think it's Friday, on the road, that tells a lot about it. And I know it's early on, but it's important to get off to a good start. I know it's no longer preseason. All these games matter. I know it's a long season, but you don't want to start off 0-5. You don't want to start off 0-3. So all these games do matter, and you want to try hard. You want to set the tone, and you want to establish the culture. So if Toronto can win on Friday, I'm not saying it's anything crazy. It's not like they're playing the Milwaukee Bucks. But Boston they've got a good, talented team. They made some nice moves in the offseason. On the road, though, that's the biggest thing. You're going on the road. You're shorthanded. If the Raptors squeeze out a win there, I think anyone who didn't put money on the Raptors winning over 36.5 games or 34.5 games this year, they're not going to be happy because I have high hopes for this Raptors squad. I think that they will be the 5th seed. I think that they will advance to the second round. I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to upset the Brooklyn Nets. If the Brooklyn Nets got the 4th seed, I'm talking about my prediction video from a couple of days ago. Obviously, it's depending on a whole bunch of things. I'm kind of just assuming Kyrie doesn't play at all for the Nets. Now, you have Boston. Then you got Dallas, but you're going to be at home. Dallas is a good team, man. They are a very talented team, obviously led by Luka Doncic, who I want to make all my predictions. I might do that tomorrow before the tip, but I'm between Luka and Steph as my MVP picks for this upcoming year. I mean, Luka's a hell of a player, and he's that type of guy who could beat a team on his own. Now, he's got a supporting cast. He's got a solid supporting cast. So let's say the Toronto Raptors finished the first week 3-0, beating Boston, beating Dallas. I think you're looking at a very, very good sign. You're without Chris Boucher. You're without Pascal Siakam. Those guys are huge for the culture. They're huge for the energy, and they're huge for defense and offense. So missing those two guys and coming out on top this week, at least winning 2 games, that's going to tell me a lot about the Toronto Raptors. And then it really is just kind of a win-win situation because let's say the Raptors win Wednesday against the Washington Wizards. I think they'll put up a good fight. Win or lose, they're going to put up a fight against Boston and against Dallas. So let's say they just lose those 2 games, but they put up a good fight. You're still looking at some good signs. That's not the end of the world either because Boston and Dallas, 2 very talented teams, started the season trying to get this chemistry, trying to figure out the rotations. I wouldn't be too upset if the Raptors were 1-2. 2-1. 2-1 is great. That is what the Raptors should be looking for after this first week because Chris Boucher should be back relatively soon. And then Pascal, he should be out for I want to say 4 weeks. I think they'll sit him out 4 weeks. I don't think they're in any rush to bring him back and risking any possible long-term injury or retweaking or tweaking. 1-2, 2-1, 3-0. They're all successes in their own way for this first week because you're really just trying to establish the tone, set the culture. So as long as the Raptors don't fall 0-3, I think you're going to be looking at a bunch of good signs. Now, if they finish 3-0 this week, I don't think the Eastern Conference is ready for what's in store once they're fully healthy. And then once you got the development of Scotty Barnes and just the development of their team. I'm expecting big games from Freddie V. I'm expecting big games from Gary Trent in the first 3 games. Scotty Barnes, I think these guys are going to play. OG, 20 points per game until Pascal comes back. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been saying it all off season. I really think it's going to happen. He is going to have a breakout season. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. All my links are in the bio. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.